Good morning, guys. It's Wednesday morning at 11 a.m., which means it's Real Estate Chat with Jennifer Ho. Believe it or not, this is our 14th episode of Real Estate Chat. Hope you guys are all well. Now, as you all know, it's now spring, and a couple of people have reached out to me. They are either thinking of selling their home, and so they wanted to know what they need to do before they do that. As you know, the last few episodes I've already discussed how you should prepare your home and all that. But one of the things I have not talked about is what are the costs home sellers need to, put aside to make sure that they're ready when they put their houses on the market. A couple of things. These are the top three most expensive things sellers need to incur as expenses when they put their house on the market. Number one, this is something that doesn't have to be, but you have to be ready for it. The number one cost is the repairing house cost. As you all know, every home buyer, when we have an accepted offer and everything, one of the things they always do is to have a home inspector come and check your home. Interestingly enough, a lot of sellers have not looked into having their house, just go around your house, see if there's anything wrong, a leaky faucet, something as simple as that. You think it's no big deal. It just drips once in a while. But the thing is, as a home buyer, every single thing, minor things that you think is not working and it's no big deal, as far as a buyer's point of view, it all adds up. So one of the things that might be helpful for you is just have a handyman come. A simple touch up on the paint will make a big difference, because sometimes you see cracks on the wall. It's actually just paint. But as a home buyer, when people look up and they see a crack on the ceiling or in the walls, for them, they may feel like, oh my God, it's a red flag. There must be something wrong with the foundation, where in fact, it's actually just paint. So having someone just do a touch-up job on the paint actually will save you money in the long run, because buyers would not think that there's something seriously wrong with your house. Another thing you might want to look into is, I've owned my house for over 20 years, and a lot of us have HVAC. Now, one of the things I do as a homeowner is I actually have a maintenance, a service, I have an agreement with an HVAC guy where they come out to my house twice a year to inspect, to make sure that my HVAC are just fine. So you might want to make sure you don't want to let that lapse, because as a home inspector, what they do is when they go check at the house, one of the things they look at is oh my God, how old is this furnace? But sometimes what you don't realize is, even if the furnace is old, if you have someone maintain it, come out every year, they actually put that into consideration. I had a house where my buyer was buying this home, and it's like a fairly old system, but they never had someone come out and check for the last 5 years. So the inspector was saying wait, 5 years, it has not been checked or maintained, that would be a red flag. So you have to understand, having this yearly maintenance thing that you can have with the HVAC guy would cost you $300-$400. But as far as a home buyer is concerned, if they think it would be an issue, the number that they will have in their mind that they're going to negotiate with you is at least $6 to $10 grand. So you could avoid that by making sure that your HVAC is maintained on a yearly basis. Another thing that you might want to look into, or you have to make sure you do on a regular basis, if you have septic. As you know, septic, you have to drain it, or you have to get it cleaned by a septic guy every 2 to 3 years, depending on how much you use it. So if you do not have the septic person come every 2-3 years, it might be a good idea to have someone come and drain your septic before you put your house on the market. That could be $300-$400 cost for you, but it's something during the inspection and the inspector check, it might be, as far as the buyer is concerned, a lot of money that they have to pay. So these are the three main things that you might want to look into in fixing, getting your house ready. Now, I have to say, there are certain situations when you know your roof is old. The problem with the market right now is it's really very hard to have someone come out to do some major repairs like roof and all that thing. A roof may cost you between $16,000 to over $20,000, and it's something that will take time and it would cost you a lot of money. Now, one of the things that you might want to look into is that either price, if you think there's a lot of repairs that needs to be done on your home and you just really don't have the time or the money to do so, one thing that you might want to consider is price your house. Take that into consideration when you're pricing your house. So that's option number one. Another thing you may want to look into is upon closing, you might be open to the idea of maybe giving the buyer a credit when you close. Sorry. You might want to give the buyer's credit when you close on your property. So that's another thing you might want to look into. Now, the second cost that's a thing that you might need to do before you put your house on the market is landscaping. As we all know, curb appeal is it's a first impression for a buyer to either, do they want to even go in your house? I've had situations when we drive up and the buyers basically just says, nope, don't even want to bother going in. This is not for me. So you might want to make sure you spend some money on landscaping. It doesn't have to be expensive, but how many of us still have some dead leaves or some debris because of the snowstorm we just had, or we just had a windstorm, so we have all these twigs and branches all over the driveway. Have someone, or you could even do this actually, just clean out your driveway. Landscaping doesn't have to be expensive. Put some new mulch in and all that. Trim some dead trees or bushes or whatever it is. Have someone do it, or you could do it on your own. That's something that, we could kind of do like a do-it-yourself kind of situation. But definitely spend money and do something with your landscaping. You'll be surprised how some nice colored, flowers, spring flowers to put by your front door and all that makes such a big difference. It makes your house very inviting. Now, the last most expensive cost a seller have to incur are their closing costs. Now, take note, each state is different. For example, definitely you have to pay your real estate taxes. It's definitely prorated. Now, second thing, which I say it depends on which state you live in, you have to pay as a seller. If you're in Connecticut, seller pays for conveyance taxes. How much that is, you have to do a computation, talk to your attorney, and find out how much that would be. In Westchester, buyers pay for conveyance taxes. So you might want to check with your attorney if you're the one that will pay it or the buyers would pay it, but it's something that you really have to add on to your closing costs. The third expense that you have to pay for is attorney's fees. Now, you have to talk to your attorney before you hire them. Interview a couple of them. You have to make sure you hire a local attorney that knows your area. You don't want to hire out-of-town attorney because it's cheap, because you want the attorney to do their due diligence. I had a situation where my seller, actually, when they bought the house, did not use a local attorney. What they didn't realize, and when they were about to sell their home, that their next door neighbor already has encroached on their property, and which means we almost lost the deal, because what happened was the next door neighbor encroached on their property, and it turns out that they now have an undersized lot. And another thing why you need to make sure you hire an attorney is you have to make sure that you have everything all set. If you did some repairs, make sure that all the COs are up to date. You want a good attorney on your side, but you have to make sure they either charge you per hour or they charge you a fixed rate. Each attorney is different. And the last thing that you have to pay as a seller is definitely agent's fees. So all that said, if you're thinking of selling your home, these are the couple of things that you might want to either set money aside or things that you might have to look into before you sell your home. So number one, just to recap, is repairing house costs. There are certain things you don't need to do. Especially if you maintain your home, you have someone always check your HVAC. It's a good thing to make sure that doesn't lapse. And to do something with your landscaping. It doesn't have to be expensive, but it's some spring cleaning, taking all the branches out and all that really helps when your agent brings in the professional photographer. And thirdly is the closing cost. So that's pretty much it. I just want to say thank you for all of you who's been watching my real estate chat. I really appreciate all the love that you send me when you send me messages, either questions or comments and everything. I do this for you guys. I get a lot of questions, and I know a lot of homeowners, or either you want to buy, you want to rent, you want to sell your home. As a homeowner, we actually have a lot of questions, and it's always, sometimes you don't know whom to call. And I just want to let you know I am here, and feel free to message me and or reach out to me if you have any real estate question. I am Jennifer Ho. I've been an agent for 19 years. I am a relocation specialist, and I work with Douglas Elliman, my favorite real estate company ever. I'm so glad I joined this firm. And if you need anything, feel free to call, text me, or send me a DM, and I am here to help you guys out. Again, my name is Jennifer Ho. If you need anything, reach out to me. Thank you so much for always watching my show. I really appreciate this. And take care. God bless. Please be safe and enjoy your day. And take care. Have a great day.